Hello and welcome to a special episode of The Big Fight coming to you live from Delhi. The good news, India are through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup that was decided the minute South Africa beat Bangladesh. But now there's going to be a big fight, and that big fight is going to be when that quarterfinal takes place. And over the next 1 hour, we are going to be taking you through all the permutations and combinations. First of all, whom is India likely to play in that quarterfinal? That process is going to be decided on the basis of 2 matches. Australia versus Pakistan, which is taking place right now, and I can tell you Australia is not doing particularly well right now. And then, of course, India versus West Indies tomorrow. So all the permutations, all the combinations, and what India needs to do then to win that quarterfinal match, and then, of course, to win the semi-finals and the finals. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next 1 hour. We have an absolutely fantastic lineup of guests joining us to take us through all aspects of this. Let me start by welcoming Sunil Gavaskar onto the program. Mr. Gavaskar, great as always to have you with us. Joining us from Lahore, Inzamamul Haq, somebody who's led his team, of course, to a World Cup victory, and we've been admiring your play, Inzi bhai, for years and years. बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद आप हमारे साथ हैं Lahore से Inzamamul Haq joining us. Mike Atherton joining us live from Kolkata. Thanks so much, Atherton, for being with us as well. Professor Dino is out there with his blackboard, and he's going to be taking us through some of these permutations and combinations in just a couple of minutes. And let me welcome our guests here with us in the studio. We have with us, let me start by welcoming Ajay Jadeja, who was with us in one of the earlier matches, saying India is going to go on to win. We're going to see whether you still feel that way or you don't feel that. Well, you had your ifs and buts there, but we'll get that. Gives me absolutely great pleasure to welcome Dave Watmore, who's, of course, been instrumental in leading Sri Lanka. Well, you were coaching them, but you took them to the 1996 victory. There are strong chances India could be playing Sri Lanka, of course, so we'll be getting some inside information from you. We also have with us again Mr. Krishnaswamy, sports journalist, the person who in our last show said South Africa is going to be winning, and we are still hoping you're wrong, so we'll see what there is. And last but not least, let me welcome Syed Kirmani, who's joining us now from Bangalore as well. Kirmani, thank you so much for being with us. So all of you there with us, before I come to you, let's just take you through the permutations and the combinations. Just bear with me, please, if you will, while I go through some graphics, the sort of stuff that I absolutely love doing. Who is India going to play? And I said it depends on Australia versus Pakistan and then India versus West Indies. Here are really the combinations that we have right now. Now, let us assume that Australia beats Pakistan. It's not looking likely right now, but if Australia was to beat Pakistan and then India were to beat West Indies tomorrow, this is what would happen. India would be playing New Zealand in the quarterfinals. And that is something that I think many people in India that would be a match many people in India would be looking forward to. What happens if Australia beats Pakistan and the West Indies beats India? That's the next scenario that we need to turn to. Can we just have the next scenario on? Yeah. So here's the next scenario. Australia beats Pakistan. West Indies beats India. Now here, what would happen is that India would be playing Sri Lanka. Actually, if the West Indies beats India, pretty much means India is playing Sri Lanka. So this is your second scenario. Australia has beaten Pakistan. West Indies beats India. India is playing Sri Lanka. There is still a catch, though. What happens if West Indies thrashes India? And it has to be something like, they are scoring 300 and bowling India for 117, or West Indies dismissing India for 150 and chasing it down in 20.3. If that happens, Australia beats Pakistan, West Indies thrash India, India is going to end up playing Australia in this case, if they are number 1 in that group. But all of these 3 scenarios were based on Australia beating Pakistan. Unfortunately, right now, with Australia at 73 for Pakistan 73 for 2, chasing a very small total, it's more likely that Pakistan is going to beat Australia. So let's look at the scenarios if Pakistan beats Australia. Now, Pakistan beats Australia, India beats West Indies. Guess what? India is playing Australia in the quarterfinal. That perhaps one of the most likely scenarios. Pakistan beats Australia, India beats West Indies. India is going to be playing Australia in the quarterfinals. Second possibility out here, of course, Pakistan beats Australia and the West Indies beats India tomorrow. India is going to end up playing Sri Lanka. So that's one more thing to think about. And if in this environment and in this situation, the West Indies thrashes India tomorrow, Pakistan's beaten Australia and West Indies thrashes India, then India ends up playing Pakistan. This is the only scenario in which India ends up playing Pakistan. So those are... Okay, so I hope all of you have got that. So that's pretty much what the number crunching is. So if Pakistan wins this match, India is either playing Australia or playing Sri Lanka. Let me ask all of you what you think about some of those scenarios. इंसी भाई, मैं पहले आपसे शुरू करना चाहूंगा कि आपको लगता है जो मैच अभी है 77-2 जो चल रहा है, क्या आपको लगता है कि पाकिस्तान आज का मैच जरूर जीत जाएगा?
जी, जिस तरह की पोजीशन है कि जिस तरह के पाकिस्तान के बॉलर्स ने बॉलिंग की है, तो मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि जी पाकिस्तान को जीतना चाहिए। अभी 70 पे सिर्फ 2 आउट हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल में पाकिस्तान को आराम से ये स्कोर चेज करना चाहिए। तो मुझे पाकिस्तान की जीत में कोई इतनी मुश्किल नज़र नहीं आ रही कि जी दोनों सेट बैट्समैन खेल रहे हैं, तो पाकिस्तान को आज का मैच जीतना चाहिए और ग्रुप में टॉप करना चाहिए, जो मेरे ख्याल में पाकिस्तान की मॉरल विक्ट्री होगी।
पर अगर ऐसी तो आपको लगता है कि अब इस सिचुएशन से पिच में थोड़ा तो उछाल था, अप एंड डाउन था, अनइवन बाउंस था, पर आपको लगता है पाकिस्तान में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आनी चाहिए अब?
नहीं, शुरू में पिच में पहली इनिंग्स में देखने आया था कि फास्ट बॉलर्स के लिए हेल्प थी, ठीक है, और दूसरी इनिंग्स में भी पहले जो उनसे 4 से 5 ओवर्स थे उसमें हेल्प थी। सेकंड इनिंग्स में सारे टूर्नामेंट में अभी तक पूरे इवेंट में ये देखने आया कि बॉल थोड़ा सा लो रहता है, लेकिन अगर बैट्समैन स्टे करके खेले पिच पे और पार्टनरशिप्स के साथ खेले, तो मेरे ख्याल में इन सब कॉन्टिनेंट्स की पिचेस पे स्कोर बनाना बैट्समैन के लिए कोई इतना मुश्किल नहीं है।
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.